This is Ram football right here. This is the Ram football.
The lead comes over, Peters comes over, you get Sue, Brandon Cooks comes over. I mean, you guys are loaded.
Yeah!
I like it. What better place to do it in LA?
It's one of the hottest teams in the National Football League.
We gonna win games. When you got a running back like I do, you got a front seven like I do now.
Ooh, that's kind of what make us pros, man. We can handle change fast, you know.
The Rams.
Rampage
Radio.
You're listening to Rampage Radio Podcast. Here are your hosts, JRob and Jay.
What's good? Welcome to Rampage Radio Podcast. This is your boy JRob right here.
What's up, guys? This is Jay. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a great week. It's been a while since we've been back on the pod, so it's glad to be back.
Just 2 weeks. Ain't that long of a time.
2 weeks feels like a while in the middle of football season, does it not?
Yeah, it does. Okay, touche.
So yeah, we are really glad to be back on the Rampage Radio Pod this week, and make sure you go follow us on Twitter. Our followers are growing. Hit us up at Rampage Radio Pod, and make sure you go follow our site we're working with, Talk Rams. You can follow them at Talk Rams. As always, we are on iTunes. Please subscribe. Hit us up with those 5 stars, and do not be afraid to interact with the show. The last podcast we had a handful of guys. Dan, the coach, I remember him from a couple weeks ago. He came in dropping bars on the podcasts. Nice. And we love the interaction with fans. So remember, at Talk Rams, hit us up at Rampage Radio. Don't be afraid to check us out on Facebook as well at facebook.com/Rams Talk. All right, Rams Talk, man. We love Rams Talk. We're enjoying our partnership. 3 awesome podcasts. No one else is throwing down on podcasts except Rams Talk. So, yeah, get it popping with the Rams Talk Radio and Rampage Radio. You can edit that out.
No, I'm not going to edit that out. That's good. But we can also mention Butting Heads. That's the other one that's on there. That's also really good. So yeah, you could check all 3 of those out. The point is that we offer, when I say we, Rams Talk as a whole, we offer 3 different shows, and that gives you a lot of content to listen to. That's what we're saying. Right, Jay?
Yeah, no doubt. So once again, we're glad to be back. It's been a crazy few weeks for us, for you, especially, obviously, not me. Why don't you go ahead and tell people what you've been dealing with, and we'll get serious here for a minute. Absolutely.
Well, the serious thing is I had thyroid cancer. I was diagnosed during my baseball season a couple of months back, and I had scheduled the thyroid to be removed, and it was removed last week, and the surgery went really well. And the recovery also went real well. I'm still recovering, so if you hear my voice slip a little bit or things like that happen during this episode, I'm not going to say I'm sorry except for right now.
You should apologize to the...
I will apologize right now. So if it does slip, I will apologize.
We got you,
now.
Man. Totally understandable. It's a blessing, dude. It's a blessing that you are healthy.
Cancer-free.
It was cancer-free, and we all know people that deal with cancer. I never thought it'd be my own brother, and I'm sure you never thought it would be you. So
yeah,
it's just a blessing, and we're thankful for sure that you're healthy, and we're glad to be back on the pod, man. So other than your life-altering, stressful surgery that you just finished, anything else been going on with you, man, that you want to tell the people?
Well, absolutely. I'm moving to Atlanta, coming to be with you, man.
Welcome to Atlanta, as Ludacris once said. So,
I'm coming to Atlanta. My family and I are moving there. That's going to be exciting. We're currently, like I said, recovering here in Texas and Dallas area. So, I'm going to be moving to Atlanta and getting plugged in and calling some baseball, men's softball, and volleyball to make some cash over there.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And that's kind of what I've been doing. So, but what's going on in your world, bro?
Yeah, man. Much of the same. The last time we were doing a pod, we were a month out or so, almost 2 months, I guess, from having this baby. So just been hardcore nesting, trying to enjoy some free time, before, my son arrives. So, that's really about it, man. And also enjoying the Rams. The Rams have been just balling the first 2 weeks, and we'll get into that. But, what do we got lined up this week for the show, dude?
Well, we're going to recap the first two games very, very briefly. We're going to talk about some MVPs on each side of the ball. We're going to talk about, obviously, the Arizona game, as I just mentioned. We're going to take a look at the Chargers, just a little bit of NFL news, and, of course, easy money towards the end of the show. So, jumping right in.
Your boy has been on fire.
Oh, have you?
Your boy has been on fire with the easy money. Well, there's no documentation of this, okay? You have to take my word for it. But
okay, says a bookie.
I'm serious. I'm serious. So, all right. So let's go. Let's get into this. Rams are, as we all know, 2-0. This team is playing really well. Tell me little things that have caught your eye so far as first couple games.
Well, let's start on the defensive side of the ball. How about they are first in points and only giving up 6.5 points per game as an average. They are third in total yards at 266 yards. They are sixth in 191 yards passing, and they are fifth in rushing with 74.5. So the defense speaks for itself, and the offense is obviously back up there as one of the most explosive units this season, and they picked up right where they left off last year, and people were concerned about the daggum no playing and preseason garbage. And as you remember, I didn't care. I was like, dude, I'm not even stressed about this. I mean, because we're healthy, you know what I'm saying?
So that's which was proved to be, there has not been a hangover or a slow start from this offense in particular. So that definitely a great decision by McVay to decide to sit as starters, get everyone healthy, and I think more teams will probably do that in the future. It's working well for the Rams. Obviously, they didn't play a real single preseason game as a unit, and they show out first game. So I mean, I wasn't surprised, but it was very, very welcome sight.
Yeah, it was. And what's even more welcoming is seeing that 2-0 record right now. And I think the most impressive play that I've seen so far is my boy John Johnson III with that interception in the end zone, bro. I mean, dude, that was a big-time play that kind of changed the complexion of that half, and that's been the biggest play that I've seen so far. But what have you seen out of the first couple of games so far?
First couple of games, one thing that popped out to me is the first game versus Oakland, Marcus Peters making the impact play, jumping that route, Homa D, doing his thing. That was awesome to see him kind of show out night one. And then the second game, just watching the offensive side, Gurley. Gurley just looks the part. He looks like he's not missed a step. That offensive line is playing as a unit right now. And Goff, man, I mean, I know it's early. We haven't played a bunch of great teams, but man, he looks so comfortable in this offense.
Yeah.
He looks like he has a plan in every play. He's never overwhelmed. The offensive line, like I said, is doing a really good job. I'm just excited to watch this D-line continue to grow and continue to impact games as we play. So if you're looking at this team, what's your MVP right now? 2 games. It's early. Who's playing the best and who's having the most impact on the Rams so far?
Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna tell you who I have as my MVPs in the first 2 weeks, and I'm gonna tell you who I'm gonna have as my MVP as a prediction for the rest of the season. So let's start right now. I'm gonna go with the same guy I just talked about, and that's John Johnson III at safety. He's played very well through the first 2 games, and there's no reason for that not to continue. I just mentioned the interception he made in the end zone. That was a huge play. And, he got beat one other time in that game, against the tight end, Jared Cook. But, dude, that dude's a playmaker, dude. He can play against a tight end. He can play with a running back in the backfield. He can even bring him down if you have to, which we don't because we have a plethora of DBs who are very good. Holla at your boy Sam Shields, who got his first pick last game.
Yes, I love that. Big fan. Let's go.
But John Johnson, he's a playmaker, and he's a guy that I'm counting on to back my validation of his MVP candidacy for the defense. On offense, so far,
I'm sure he's really worried about that. I'm sure he's really hey, my boy JRob picked me to be the MVP. I got to show out. I'm going for picks. No batted balls. I'm going for picks.
Get at me. On offense, so far, I have to go with the offensive line as a whole, as a unit. They're in the top 3 per Pro Football Focus so far, and bearing injury, they should continue to dominate as they did all of last year. If I have to choose an individual on the line, I have to go with Austin Blythe, who has done an outstanding job at the right guard spot, filling in for Jamon Brown, who is obviously not playing due to his suspension. We have come to like have expectations for every other guy on that line. We know what Whitworth brings. We know what Saffold brings. We know what Havenstein.
Love Whitworth, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Whitworth.
What would it
Dude,
have,
what a piece that guy is. I was watching the game and he was mic'd up.
Yes.
Did you watching? I forget. What was that?
Yes.
It was the first game. I was like, wow, this guy is a veteran, and to have him on the left tackle, he's older than the head coach. And he buys in. Everyone kind of follows his lead. That guy's, he's the man. He's the man.
What would it have been like had the Rams had him for the last 11 seasons, aside from Greg Robinson, Alex Barron, guys like that? I mean, dude, seriously.
Just a rock as the left tackle. He's going to protect your quarterback. One, he's going to lead the rest of the offensive line. He's a veteran.
He's a pro's pro.
He's a pro. He's a professional. I mean, those guys do not grow on trees. How many more years do you think he's got left?
At least 2, hopefully.
2 more would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. At some point, his body's going to be like, all right, I'm done. I made enough money.
Yeah. Well,
so.
the point I'm trying to make is this, though. We know what to expect from all those other guys, but we did not know what to expect from Austin Blythe. And, now he has put a lot on tape that has shown the Rams, in my opinion, something they can hang their hat on. And that's why he's my offensive MVP so far, if I had to pick an individual. But my pick...
He's your Ram on the radar?
There you go. Where's that sound effect?
Hit it.
Nice. But my pick is going to be JRod Goff for the rest of the season. I mean, I can't not choose JRod. It's either Todd or JRod.
Right.
I mean, I think anyone... I mean, it's debatable, clearly, but...
Well, Gurley's been doing his thing. I mean, but, he scored 3 touchdowns last year, but Goff was responsible for most of the yards last week, that is. So...
Yeah, I mean, that's, but anyway, I have to go with Goff. But what did you think about Blythe?
I love what he's doing, man. Love what he's doing. I thought he's been a huge piece on that interior of that offensive line. The question is Jamon Brown getting his job back? I mean, it seems like the Rams have great depth right now. Do they want to mess with that cohesive unit up front this next week, or what do you think is going to happen?
I'm not shaking anything up. I think you have to leave him in there. I mean, I like Jamon Brown. I love what he does. I love what he brings. He's been consistent. He's been a good player for us, but the way that Blythe is playing right now, as they say, hopefully I get this right. If it ain't broke, yes, don't fix it.
Yes. That's funny. I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I mean, the amount of depth that Brown's going to give you, and you're getting this out of Blythe. At some point, Brown's going to play. Someone's going to go down. Something's going to happen, and the competitiveness in him is probably wants to start, but he'll get his time. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Arizona game. The offensive line played well, as we just alluded to.
Yes.
Huge blowout. We all know the score, 30 for nothing. The game was never really in doubt. I was looking back on watching this game for a second time, and I almost forgot that it was 0-0 after the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? It didn't ever feel like it was a close game. It didn't ever feel, even though we hadn't scored, it felt like, we were in control. The defense was smothering, especially early. I thought, like you said, Goff looked amazing. Gurley scored 3 times. But for me, when I watched the game the first time, obviously this player caught my attention, but going back again, Brandon Cooks, man. I mean, Brandon Cooks, crazy good game, dude. 7 catches, 159 yards. Him and Goff looked crazy in sync. And, man, it's exciting, man. I think that relationship is going to continue to grow. And what a weapon down the field.
Everything is advertised.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. And he's, they talk about the practice player he is. They talk about the leader he is, the teammate he is. Dude, the downfield, this explosiveness. I knew he was short, but dude, your boy he looks tiny out there. He looks tiny.
But dude,
he just runs past people. It doesn't even matter how tall he is. He's like, it doesn't matter how tall I am. If I'm 5 yards ahead of you, I don't have to jump up and get it. So that's basically what's been happening. He's stretching the field, and it's gonna be fun to watch the rest of the year.
Dude,
so what do you think about
hang on. I want to touch on Cooks a little bit more. The thing that I really like about him is that his catch radius is